Cool. No, I appreciate you guys joining me. I'm really excited to be live, the first inaugural episode of Thursday Night Football Cards Talk Show. And I've got a few topics that I do want to talk about, but that I really want to hear you guys' questions and comments. Sorry, guys. And I really want to hear you guys' questions and comments. I want to talk about some news that is just going around today and in the last couple of days. I want to talk about what Vegas is predicting. I also want to talk about who Vegas is betting on for the MVP and correlating that with their rookie card prices. I also have some giveaways here. I've got a package of cards that I want to open up, and there's some interesting cards in here. I know one card in specifically that I want to give away that is not even a football player or a basketball player or a baseball player or anybody in sports, but they are a fan of sports. And I think you guys are going to like it. So we'll get to that later. That's just some topics that I do want to talk about tonight. But first, I want to thank you guys for joining me. Thanks, Jerry. You like the name? Yeah, I consulted with Brad, the comeback card investor, on the name. And I definitely wanted to have fantasy football in there. I wanted to have cards in there. And it's a quest because, I collected cards as a kid in the 90s, but I haven't touched cards since, probably, well, I would say like in the late 90s, I played Pokemon and played some Magic the Gathering and collected sports cards with a lot of times Brad. Him and I would go to the card shops together. But that was a long time ago, and so I haven't touched a card since the late 90s. And so this is all new since, March 20th when Tom Brady signed with the Bucs. So this is a quest. The first thing, though, I do want to talk about is the Vegas odds, guys, on who the 2020 MVP is going to be. And Mahomes is the clear front runner, of course, and he's a plus 400, meaning that if you bet $100 and Mahomes gets the MVP, then you'll win $400. Well, as I was looking earlier, I made some notes. Mahomes PSA 9 2017 Panini Prism, number 269, is selling with July 20th for $1,400, July 21st for $1,800. So it's around that $1,500 to $2,000 range for a Mahomes PSA 9 rookie card, Prism rookie card right now. If you're looking at raw, you're looking at $800 to $900. And then you have the second guy's Lamar Jackson. What's interesting is that Lamar Jackson is tied in Vegas's eyes at plus 600. So if you bet 100, you're going to win 600 for Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson. They're tied. And Lamar Jackson won it last year, and pretty much everybody in the fantasy community is talking about where he could very well win it again this year. It's very interesting. Some news that I learned the other day that I didn't know about is Mark Andrews has diabetes type 1. And so a lot of you guys probably know, following COVID and stuff like that makes you even more predisposed to getting COVID, and the symptoms are even worse. So I am concerned. That is a major weapon for Lamar Jackson. I am concerned about that. But so Lamar Jackson's 2018 Prism, number 212 right now, PSA 9, $450, raw $300 to $350. And Jeff, the sports card investor, some other guys have all been talking about Lamar Jackson, and for good reasons. I mean, Lamar Jackson was the league MVP last year. Why the PSA 9 Mahomes for MVP? Let's dig in. Yep. Let's dig in. Hey, Brad, thanks for joining us, man. Yeah, man, let's dig in. So we're digging in right now. We're talking about Vegas odds for who's going to win the MVP this year and what their rookie cards are trading at. The PSA 9s compare the raw price. Yeah. It's very interesting because I've been looking at this. Like if you look at Russell Wilson, he's also a plus 600. Very nice. And His 2012 Prism PSA 9 is currently trading around $400. If you look at his raw card, it's about $200. And you compare that to Lamar Jackson's 2018 raw Prism for $300 to $350, and his PSA 9 for around $450. So just looking at those two guys and understanding that Russell Wilson has a much higher Hall of Fame marker because he's already won a Super Bowl. He was one Marshawn Lynch run, Pete Carroll decision away from a second Super Bowl. He's much higher on that Hall of Fame marker list. And as I've talked about, Pete Carroll is really his limiting factor. Whereas you have John Harbaugh in Baltimore, he's all about revolutionizing the offense. We saw that last year. He did what he promised. He let Lamar Jackson loose. They went out and they did some really unbelievable things on the football field. We very well could see that again. Hey, what's going on, Brian? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. So we're just going over some rookie card prices. And then, the next guy. So there's a significant drop between Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and Lamar Jackson, right? So Lamar Jackson's at plus 600, Russell Wilson's at plus 600. Then you get Tom Brady at plus 2,000. So if you were to bet $100 right now on Tom Brady winning the MVP this year, and you were right, you would win $2,000. And Tom Brady's 2000 Fleer Medal, number 267, PSA 9, is trading at $850. All right. That card becomes more and more rare as I look at it. I actually bought a Impact. All right. It's in his college uniform, but it's got the little Patriots logo at the bottom. I bought that on Facebook Marketplace for $45. I was all about that deal. Russell's the new and flashy, but proven and a great value. Zero hype, 100% merit. There's the, I love that realism of the comeback card investor there. Thank you, Brad. That's a great illustration of why I see a ton of value in Russell Wilson right there. But if we keep going down the list, you have Desean Watson tied with Tom Brady, 2017 Prism, PSA 9 for $450. His raw at $175. If you compare that to Tom Brady's, the only thing I'm not crazy about the offensive line or the defensive setup in Houston. That makes me very nervous alone. He took a lot of hits last year. They have added David Johnson. They've added Brandon Cooks. Of course, they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins, so that was their replacement for DeAndre Hopkins. Like Watson's held back by Bill O'Brien, like Russell in Seattle. Yeah, certainly. Play calling is a big factor. Play calling is a big factor in Houston, big limiting factor in Houston, big limiting factor in Seattle, as we know. Right behind Watson and Brady, you have plus 2,200 Drew Brees. Drew Brees, I feel like, is probably one of the most underpriced guys on this list based on his Hall of Fame status and his raw card trading. His 2001 Topps number 328 trading at $100. And then I found a BGS 9 for $200. I found a BGS 9.5 for $600. And then you have Dak Prescott tied with Drew Brees. His 2016 Prism right now, his raw is around 125 to 150. His BGS 9.5, 250 to 300. And then you have Kyler Murray right behind that at plus 2,500. And this is another one that jumps off at me. A primary reason for this, a reason why guys are drafting Kyler Murray so high in fantasy drafts is because of their coaching scheme. He's a college coach. And they have a very fast pace of play. They run a lot of plays, and they are favoring the pass. They're probably about 65 to 70% pass, whereas 30 to 35% run. And they're going to run a lot of plays every game. His raw rookie card right now, 2019 Prism, is trading for around $80. His BGS 9.5, 250. And he's got the same odds to win the MVP this year as Aaron Rodgers and Carson Wentz, the last guy on the list. But if you compare, I'll tell you what, guys. Green Bay, the pack opener, Aaron Rodgers rookie cards, his 2004 Topps Chrome is rare. If you go back and look at PWCC market price research and look at eBay, the last time that a Topps Chrome Aaron Rodgers rookie card was sold was back in December of 2018. Who would be the Nick Bosa on the San Francisco 49ers? That guy is an animal. That guy he's going to be a Hall of Famer one day. Yeah, Nick Bosa, defensive end on the 49ers, would definitely be my number one defensive guy. Or Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman's also on the 49ers. He's still playing at a very high level. And he's been there with the Seahawks. He's got the loud off the field presence and very outspoken. So I'm all about Richard Sherman too. But Nick Bosa, just from a performance standpoint, incredible. So we look at, I did find some 2004 just base tops number 431 PSA 9 for $90. And then Carson Wentz 2016. Carson Wentz is very underpriced, but it's like a lot of people have a lot of reservation. He's a great passer, phenomenal when he stays on the field, but he always seems to get hurt down the stretch. And so you could buy his PSA 9 right now. I saw one earlier for $150, and that might be worth a flyer. Desean Jackson really kind of let him down. I mean, he was banged up, but then he had to go make his anti-Semitic comments and got cut from the team. You have Alshon Jeffrey, who's pretty much washed up. Yeah. And so that is my rundown on the top 10 quarterbacks Vegas is predicting to win the MVP this year. There's another guy, and we are doing giveaways tonight, guys. We are doing giveaways. I've got cards in here that I don't even remember. I remember what one of them is. And it's not an NFL player. It's not any sports player at all. It's a famous person, and it's a person that I think you guys are all going to like. And I'm giving some cards away out of this box tonight. But first, I want to talk about what I heard on Gary V's Gary V with T today. Who's starting in New England? Well, it's probably going to be Cam Newton if he's healthy, but he's definitely going to have to beat out Jarrett Stidham for that. And I think Green Bay, the pack opener, was telling me he just pulled a Stidham patch auto Gary V card. No, what's up, Marcus? Think hotter than Gary V. Think hotter. Hey, what's going on, New Creation? We need more love for defensive players. Yeah, I picked up a few Deion Sanders rookie from that old lady that I met in the middle of Florida when I bought that Tom Brady rookie card. And I really love Deion Sanders. He stays relevant in the news. He's probably going to have more documentaries in the future. Deion Primetime, him and Michael Irving, they have that whole culture going on, and they'll definitely stay relevant. There is a Gary V card. Yeah, Brad, you were showing me that. Yeah, but Gary V today had the personal finance dad on his Gary V with T today. And so I thought that was cool. Anytime one of the guys from our community of sports card investors and collectors, and Gary V is very big into sports cards, and he was super fired up, man. Gary V was, and a personal finance dad did a great job letting Gary V get it all out. And one guy that Gary V talked about, do you guys know who Gary V? Tea with Gary V, but whatever. Yeah, whatever. It's tea, beer. Hey, Gary V's drinking tea. I'm drinking some more Moosehead. Whatever. Do you guys know who Gary Vee was talking about? Which quarterback? And he's on a team that I traditionally wouldn't necessarily think of because I'm a Tampa Bay fan. I have really hated this team for many years because they're a division rival and they've had, a one-time MVP winner quarterback. Darnold, nope, not Sam Darnold. That was awesome. That one. Yeah, it was awesome. Matt Ryan is another guy that I think is a good investment going into the season. I'll talk about why. They have one of the toughest schedules, but just going into the beginning of the season, I think that Matt Ryan is going to air it out. And with his Hall of Fame status already, I think we could see a huge jump in Matt Ryan's cards in the beginning of the season. Yeah, Jerry got it. Teddy Bridgewater on the Carolina Panthers. And, we've been talking about Christian McCaffrey. And what's crazy is that Vegas has only got the Panthers predicted to win 5.5 games this year. But they've got weapons. They've got Christian McCaffrey, who's a generational running back, a workhorse in college, and just a phenomenal athlete. And he's proven it in the NFL. He's on the field every single play, receiving, catching, breaking tackles, doing this, doing that. They've also got DJ Moore. DJ Moore is a phenomenal wide receiver. And 2006 Bowman Chrome, Drew Brees. Yeah. Yep. Definitely. 2006 Bowman Chrome, Drew Brees is the first year Drew Brees in his Saints uniform is a hot year. I would definitely, you could buy that card super cheap, guys, and flip it for like 7 to 10x. I think Joe Brady is going to do wonders for Teddy B. David, you got a great point, and I'm saying this here first so you guys can hear this. If you didn't hear Tea with Gary Vee earlier today, the personal finance dad was on there, and Gary Vee mentioned to the personal finance dad that he's investing in Teddy Bridgewater. Yes, it is a gamble. Gary Vee understands it's a gamble. Just like anything that we do, all players in all sports are they're at risk for injuries. And the one good thing is, though, we have not had a career-ending injury in football. I know a lot of people think that football players get injured more often, and that probably is true if we were to look at the actual statistics because it's a very physical game. But the career-ending injuries, we're talking career-ending. Most of the time, 99% of the time, running backs, if they get dinged up, they're coming back a week or two later. At the worst-case scenario, like what happened to Saquon Barkley 2 years ago, he missed quite a few games, but he's come back. And the last career-ending injury we really had in the NFL was Bo Jackson. All right, guys, that was a long time ago, back in the early 90s when he messed up his hip and was done. We don't have career-ending injuries like that, and so I think that's a stigmatism that can definitely change in the football community, and that's going to help grow football cards as well. The whole helmet thing, I get that. I really like what Optic is doing to encourage these players to take their helmets off for the cards, so we actually get to see their faces and stuff like that. I love the action poses and the poses taken during the game. That's one of the reasons why I love Optic, is because a lot of them, they have them take their helmets off for that card pose. And so it gives them more of that personable feel, like the basketball players and the baseball players and this and that. But Gary Vee talking about Teddy Bridgewater today, and the reason why Teddy Bridgewater, and I actually went out and bought about 6 of his rookie cards earlier because they're very cheap, and it is a gamble. But I had to remind myself, as an investor, even as a fantasy football player, I have to be unbiased. I have to be objective when I'm looking at the data of what happened with Teddy Bridgewater last year when he filled in for Drew Brees. He did really well. I mean, and if you go back and look at Teddy Bridgewater's college stats, he had an 83.9 QBR in college, which was 87th percentile. His true QBR, so that's factoring out unpressured throwaways and drop passes, which Michael Thomas doesn't drop many passes, but there's other guys on the team that did. His true QBR was a 101.8, which was number 9 in the league last year. So really solid. He showed to be very accurate, 75% true completion percentage. And I looked at his play action completion percentage was over 75%, and his deep ball completion percentage was over 75% last year while he filled in for Drew Brees. And I know the Saints have a very good offensive line. They've got the Michael Thomas. They've got the Jared Cook. They've got the Alvin Kamara. But, I mean, with the weapons in Carolina, that's certainly a gamble that, I mean, guys, I was buying Teddy Bridgewater rookie cards on Beckett earlier today for very cheap. And you actually look at I bought his Prism rookie cards for under $10 today on Beckett. I bought I think 4 or 5 of them, whatever the guy had. And I did a pretty sizable Beckett order that hey, it's a gamble, but for that price, I'm gonna take it, you know. And he did have in 2016, he did miss the entire season with an ACL tear and knee dislocation. So he had to have knee reconstructive surgery. So that's the only thing. But I mean, hey, coming back, he was a backup, and then he finally stepped in last year for Drew Brees. He learned from Brees for a year and was very accurate on his feet last year. Now he's going to Carolina. He's getting a shot to redeem his career. And if he can actually do it or come out of the gates hot, I think we'll see a huge spike in his rookie card prices because they are so cheap, guys. So cheap right now. Let's see. What'd you say, Brian? Brian, I was able to get a Pat Mahomes optic rookie for $140. It's a lot higher. Yeah, dude. If you missed, Bark, I was in the beginning of the show. I was going through some of the rookie card prices that I was seeing today. From like a PSA 9 Prism, Patrick Mahomes is around $1,500 right now. Raw $800 to $900. We now that Jeff has talked about Lamar Jackson. You know what was hilarious? It's Jeff on Sports Card Investor was talking about Mitchell Trubisky's rookie cards going up on the Chicago Bears, and Mitchell Trubisky is pretty much done. He's a backup now in the NFL guy. I don't know who is buying his rookie cards, but somebody is buying them. He was promoting them, and he was definitely shaking his head like he didn't fully understand it. But look, Trubisky is not getting a new contract. He's done out there, guys. I don't know who's buying Trubisky. It's Trubisky's own family. Yeah, it had to be. Now, I actually commented on the post. And because Jeff said he didn't know if he was going to be the starter this year, I'm like, no, he's not going to be the starter. I mean, trust me, I follow this stuff very closely, guys. He's not going to be the starter. He's not getting a contract extension. He's around in case Nick Foles gets hurt. And a Bears fan commented to my comment saying, yeah, even Bears fans cannot get behind Trubisky. They cannot back him. It's crazy. So I want to hear you guys' questions, comments. One other thing I'll say that I heard on Tea with Gary V after a personal finance dad was off of there is that Gary V said the one thing that would change the sports card world and market forever is if we had artificial intelligence grade cards instead of humans. And then he mentioned, well, humans grade art and antiques now, but if we had somehow artificial intelligence grade cards, that would really revolutionize the grading process. It would speed it up, and it would revolutionize the sports card market as a whole. I want to hear your thoughts on it. I bet Trubisky's cards are cheap, BC. What's going on? What's going on, man? So yeah, working on getting this open. Software program. I wonder if PSA is working on that before they're replaced. If I was PSA, I would. I am all in for high-tech grading. Yeah, if we could, that's the thing, guys. If we could speed the grading process up, like how long is it? Have you guys sent any cards to PSA recently? Like I haven't sent any cards to PSA because I've been working on buying volume raw and trading raw. I have set a few cards aside for grading. But yeah, Gary V. Yeah, Gary V's got the capital. He certainly could. What's going on, Jamie? Don't be like Blockbuster, Kmart, etc. That's the thing he said. You know, there's a human element in grading art and antiques, with sports cards being like art, it's very much considered. You know, every card is different. Every card has their little intricacies that I'm not sure that a machine could pick up. But that also adds in an opinion-based element to grading cards. Like, if I get lucky and get this one PSA grader, I get a 10. But if I get this guy who's just a prick and he's like very strict on his grading, I'm going to get a 9. I mean, I wonder if that's a real thing. Like, it's like, I've heard people are waiting like 4 to 5 months now and stuff from March, etc. This isn't hand done though. Yeah. All right, guys, let's see what I got in the pack. So what kind of questions you guys got? You guys got any questions for me tonight? I think it was Jerry. I think Jerry got the Teddy B. Yeah, Jerry got the Teddy B. So Jerry, you get the... Or I'll let you pick, Jerry. You may not want it. I don't know. It's a first-year optic. Let's see. Got a couple 2012 finest Adrian Petersons there. Beautiful card. Oh, yeah, I got that MVP Adrian Peterson with a little cutout there. I got a few 2012s in this one, 2012, because that was the year that Adrian Peterson won the MVP. And it's the last time any running back has won the MVP. Beckett Marketplace, Barga. What is your question? With Beckett Market, do you buy as many from many sellers or just stick to 1 or 2 sellers? I ask because each seller has shipping fee. Yeah, you know, that's a good one, Bark. I have bought from pretty much dozens of different sellers on Beckett. And yeah, if they have a lot of cards that I am targeting, then I'll add those cards to my cart first, and then I'll go to my cart, and you can click on the seller's store name, and I basically have my sheet that I made, and I'll just copy and paste the top players that I've highlighted that I'm targeting on their store page and see if I can get to their free shipping threshold. And sometimes this can be a lengthy process, and sometimes you can get to it pretty quick. It just depends on the cards you're targeting and how many they have of them. But that's what I do. And sometimes it can take me like 2 to 3 hours to put in a Beckett order. I mean, it's fun because at the same time, I'm cross-referencing with COMC. If I'm not unfamiliar with a set and I don't know if that's a good deal, I go over to COMC and see what it's trading at. And hopefully in the future, I'll be able to utilize Star Stock more as they have more inventory. And of course, I'm using like eBay and PWCC market price research if I don't find the cards that I'm looking for on COMC. Like if it's sold out, then I've got to go to eBay and look at some more recent sales history. But yeah, I'll buy from any. I'll tell you what, Matt Collectibles on Beckett has refunded a bunch of my stuff. I don't know what's going on with his thing, but he's not updating his inventory list as much as the other ones. I love 3 stars. Desert Moon seems to have higher. Burbank has higher card prices typically, and I think that's because I've talked to Brad. They're in California, and so you have to, if you can look and see where they're located too when you go to their store homepage. And if they're in California, probably going to have higher prices because there's a higher cost of living. And but yeah, I'm basically going into Beckett on the homepage. I'm searching. I go to COMC first, find out which set of Teddy Bridgewater's rookie card. So 2012 Panini Prism, and then I go over to Beckett and search, 2012 Panini Prism Teddy Bridgewater and see what they've got. I'll compare the sellers. I'll go ahead and add the highest lot at the best price to my cart, and then go to my cart, click on the store name, and then from the store name, then I'll just go through all the other guys I'm targeting and see what they have. And that's the best place that I'm doing it. The best way that I've found to do it. Yeah. Cross-reference ComC, because then you could look at the sales trend, because you might have, like, for example, earlier I was buying Devontae Adams rookie cards. Another guy that I'll go ahead and tell you guys that I'm targeting right now for you guys in my live stream is AJ Green. AJ Green has got a 1-year extension with the Bengals. This is pretty much his last year to prove himself, guys. He's supposed to be fully healed from injury. He's got a huge catch radius. The guy could be a Hall of Famer if he didn't get hurt in the last 2 years and miss most of these seasons. But with Joe Burrow coming, they're going to let Joe Burrow go loose, guys. And that's another guy I'm going to be targeting, because Joe Burrow's a winner, man. He broke all these records in college. He's just a natural winner. He's got it in his blood. I think he's going to do really well in the NFL. And I'm going to wait until he comes out with his official rookie card in the Bengals uniform. And I'm hoping that that's September 2nd. The 2020 base Donruss is being released. I'm hoping. I couldn't find definitive information on Cardboard Connection or Beckett that we're going to have official NFL uniforms for the rookies. But if they do, that will be the first card that I target. And definitely have been buying AJ Greens, because he's up there. He's got a really good resume. He's got some merit, and he could go out and really make a splash at the beginning of this year, guys, and you could see a huge spike in his rookie cards. Just my thought. It's a little gamble, but his rookie cards are so cheap right now because he hasn't really played hardly at all for the last 2 years. And he's got this huge catch radius. And Joe Burrow coming in, I'm targeting AJ Green and Tyler Boyd right now. Look at this little sticker I bought. I don't know why I bought this little tiny sticker, but I don't know why. And then I got some first-year optics. Larry Fitzgerald. You like AJ? Buy it? Yeah, I did. I bought some Devontae Adams rookie cards earlier today, BC. Don't drink and buy cards. Thanks for reminding me, Brad. I'm gonna let Jerry pick, but the rest of you guys that are on here, I want to connect with you guys and for your support over the last month or so since I've been on YouTube. Some Tony Romo first-year optics. I'd love to go golfing with Romo. Look at this, DeAndre Hopkins, first-year optics. I love the optics, man. These are 2016 optics. And then I got 2016 Frank Gore optic, Mr. Football. I think he bought all the Chrome Brady's. And then, of course, a couple more 2016 Adrian Peterson optics. Here's an Odell Beckham. Here's an Odell Beckham. I think we're getting – I see it. The Mike Evans. All right. This is Frank Gore. Definitely, Marcus, is a future Hall of Famer. Frank Gore is right there with Adrian Peterson for a lock for the Hall of Fame. One of two active running backs that are locks for the Hall of Fame. The reason why I like him so much. Now, this first-year optic is of a famous actress who is smoking hot, and she does not play – obviously, she does not play football or any sport. But when I saw the card on Beckett, and then I looked at ComC, almost all of her cards were sold out, and this was the only card that she did that was in an optic, and it's Fans of the Game, and she's actually a fan of Brad's home team there in LA. Well, one of now LA has two teams, but the LA Rams. And so, can any of you guess who it is? Have you guys seen this card? Or I think this is a good investment item too. I think this card will go up because I had no clue she was a fan of the game like this, but I'm certainly a fan of her. If you guys have ever seen Transformers, I'm sure you guys have seen Pam Anderson. Brad, you're a mess, man. Check out this first year optic. Megan Fox. So I'll let you pick, Jerry. But if not, I will send this to one of you guys. Yeah, man. And it's a football card. When I saw this, her cards, I got this card for like $1 on Beckett, but it's trading on ComC for like $4 or $5, and almost all of them are sold out. And so I could see this card going up, especially with the first year optic. I could see this being a collector piece, man. So I thought that was really cool. I had to get it. There she is, Miss Fox. Yeah. And then I had three. Well, probably not. Shouldn't be holding them like this. I know my card handling etiquette is not very good. 3 Nick Chubb rookie cards. I don't know if it was you guys that have directly supported the growth of Nick Chubb rookie cards, or if it was. I'm sure other people have been talking about him. I mean, his rookie cards were just so unbelievably cheap. I think I saw. Where'd you get the Chubbs from? This is from Beckett Marketplace, Bark. And let me see the seller. I just ordered these like last week. Triple I. This is from Triple I Sports Cards, and I got the Nick Chubbs for $3 a piece. And so I'm gonna send these to Star Stock. I've got a bunch of cards, and Body and Beta was asking me about that yesterday. He wants me to do a video on Star Stock, and Brad has been asking me when I've got tons of cards stacked up that I've got to send in from Cleveland. Chubb is going to have a career year. Yeah, absolutely. I know Chubb is going to have a career, and oh man, that's awesome, Jamie. That's good, man. That's really good. So you've been getting them at the price, because I went on to COMC just yesterday and noticed that Nick Chubb's now the cheapest one on COMC is like $7.50. And from when I made my video on running backs last week, they were at like $4. So if you can find Nick Chubb's around $5, a Prism rookie card of Nick Chubb, a guy that's going to just go out and just dominate in the running back position, that's a great investment. And I'm all over his rookie cards. So Jerry, I'll send you a Nick Chubb rookie card and the Megan Fox for getting the Teddy B. But I like to connect with you guys and send you some of these first year optics. I love these cards, and I couldn't do this obviously without you guys, and this is why I do this. Is to share what I know when it comes to fantasy football and what we're projecting that's going to happen this year, based on all these metrics. All this research that I typically do every year to prepare for fantasy football, which is something else I want to talk about in just a second. But every year I do all this research for fantasy football, and then during the season, every week I'm listening to 7 different podcasts, and I'm big into being productive and working on the things that I'm interested in. And cards to me fits hand in hand with the fantasy football hobby, which is the reason why I started this channel. And I really appreciate you guys interacting with me, making it fun, and giving me tons of great questions and comments to provide value. And I find you and Brad far more entertaining than the Joss and Gary V. Sweet. Appreciate that, David. Man, that's cool. That's good stuff. Yeah, so we're at 45 minutes. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Marcus. I will do, brother. I'm working on a wide receiver video right now, finishing up my wide receiver sheet. And I've made a ton of improvements to the running back sheet. I've made a ton of improvements to the quarterback sheet. I've added in more links. I'm diversifying because it's not just ComC anymore. It's StarStock, it's eBay, it's Beckett. So never, Brad. I mean, you're the man. You're the man. So it's good stuff, guys. I appreciate you joining me, your interaction. You guys make this fun. And if you guys have, yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I guess you wouldn't be coming back to Tampa anytime soon, man, but it'd be cool to go to a game this year. Anything else you guys want to talk about? I kind of had those few topics. I think what another video that I'm working on is, yeah, I am too. Man, it's so deep. Just like looking at doing mock drafts right now. Oh, one more thing I did want to talk about. I am starting a fantasy football league for our community here on YouTube. So if you guys want to get into the league, if you want a chance at beating me in fantasy football or beating Brad, I'm popping Brad's cherry, the comeback card investor. I'm popping his fantasy football cherry. This is going to be the first time that he's playing in a fantasy football league this year. I'm very excited. So you guys connect with me, send me an email. If you don't have my email address, just go to my website on my channel page, connect with me, send me an email, let me know that you're interested. I'll send you the invitation link. It's not going to be any crazy entry fee. I'd rather you guys use that money in investing in rookie cards of players that we know are going to dominate this year. But we're gonna put a little skin in the game, maybe just like $20 to make it interesting and to make it. Oh, okay, good stuff. So we're gonna get Brian in too. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So it's gonna be a lot of fun and something that I've been working on as well. And so yeah, connect with me. I'll send you guys the link. I'll send you the link to the invitation to the league, and it's gonna be fun. So I can't wait for that. Cam Newton. Cam Newton is definitely, I think, going to be the starter there. My favorite card in my personal collection is Tom Brady rookie card, impact rookie card. It's his college uniform, but it is got the Patriots logo at the bottom, and that's definitely my favorite card. For sure, especially with him being the starting Tampa. I wouldn't be saying this if he was New England's quarterback, but because he's Tampa's quarterback, I'm all over that. So, and that's definitely my favorite card right now. With that, guys, that's pretty much all I got. If you guys got anything else, we're gonna leave it. I think I'm going to start doing this every Thursday night until September 10th, when the first regular season game starts on Thursday night, when the Houston Texans play the Kansas City Chiefs with a 56 over-under total. So it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be huge. But I'm going to be talking about I'm going to go over like how the card prices have changed. Like I went over the top 10 QBs. I'm going to go over the how the QB prices have changed, so we can, see some correlations there. We're going to be talking about some other news that I hear as I'm following Jeff and Brad and Personal Finance Dad and all the other guys that are out there on YouTube, the Hobby Box and the PSA Collector. I know they talk a lot about basketball, but sometimes they dabble in football. And so I'm definitely keeping my ears open to everything that's going on in the community. And I'm following the sales trends on a daily basis. And I'm digging into players that are, as it's evolving, I'm digging into players that are expected to outperform this year and that have underpriced rookie cards. And we're going to be just, digging into stuff like that every Thursday night. And have some fun, man. Yeah, Bark. Peace out, Bark. And so that's it, guys. So I appreciate you guys joining me. And that was fun. Good stuff. So, Jerry, fans of the game, Megan Fox is coming to your house. All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace. Yes, sir. Thank you. Cheers.